From the Max Stern Athletic Center of Yeshiva University, it's the 25th annual Red Sarachek Tournament on MacsLive.
It's a steal. Sion going the other way. Too easy. I think he just dunked it. It's a throwdown for Daniel Sion.
Angley, hard drive, gets into trouble, finds Mason. Mason, again! You betcha!
You can play with patience, do it. Couldn't do it there, and Bokar will go up for the dunk! Yes!
Trying to Ben-Ami, great bounce pass. Lifer, you know you're not going to stop him.
Tucker looking to take him, goes with the left hand. Running floater, and he gets it in!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center here at Yeshiva University. I'm Yoni Pollack here with Daniel Gordon, and we're about set to tip off the first of our Tier 1 quarterfinals. We just came from a thrilling Tier 2 qualifier between MTA Nida Crown, and I certainly hope the level of play continues. We're featuring perhaps the best player in Yeshiva League history for the #1 undefeated DRS Wildcats. They're playing the 9th-seeded TABC Storm, coming off a huge victory over the RASG Warriors. Now, Daniel, you spoke with the TABC coaches pregame. They faced this team before. What's their mentality coming in?
Well, we spoke to the TABC coaching staff, and they said despite losing 3 times this season, they feel they really have a chance. They said, we're playing with house money here. Nobody expects us to win, and it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row. It's not about the 3 times that happened before. It's all about what happens here today.
And, you know, you spoke with Coach Honig. He's the assistant coach of the Storm. Are they going to try something differently because it hasn't worked thus far?
Well, I think he said that ultimately you have to do what you've done all season, and for them, it's a variety of defenses. They're going to go out here, they're going to try different things, and most importantly, he said they're going to try to control the pace. When there's an opportunity to run, they're going to run, but they need to control the pace to keep the scoring low in this game.
And of course, on the other side of the court, perhaps the most fearsome opponents here, the #1 seeded DRS Wildcats, featuring Gabe Lifer, coming off an enormous performance against Frisch in the Yeshiva League semis. They are primed. They are undefeated. Now, I spoke with Coach Stein, and I asked him, Coach, there's so much pressure here. You're undefeated. You have something special. Are you guys aware of that? Do you feel the pressure? And he says, well, you know, we're all together. This locker room, we're a band of brothers. We know exactly what we're doing, and we've been enjoying every step of the way. I said, do you think TABC is going to throw something strange at you today? What are they going to do? He said, it doesn't matter. We're bigger, we're better, we're taking this home. We'll see if they can right after this break.
I came here from Yale and Harvard, and I prefer Yeshiva College because the students are more motivated and because I see more progress from the beginning of the course to the end of the course than I did at those places.
I came to YU for a few reasons. One, because of the Jewish environment, which I wanted to be a part of in college, and the great financial program. Being part of a team takes up a lot of your time, and you have to know how to balance school with sports and manage your time wisely. When you move on to your career, it's an important quality to have. Being part of the athletics program at YU is a privilege for a student who's on the team, but also for somebody who's off the team. Everybody knows somebody that's on the team. Everybody comes out to support the games. It's a privilege to represent a Jewish school. People know that we're the Yeshiva University Maccabees, and we made it to the playoffs. I think everybody is part of the YU Maccabee family.
This MacsLive presentation of the Red Sarachek Tournament is sponsored by Yeshiva University's Office of Undergraduate Admissions, the Office of the President, and the Center for the Jewish Future. Yeshiva University, nowhere but here.
And we're back here at the gym at Yeshiva University for the first Tier 1 quarterfinal at this Sarachek tournament this year. It's between the undefeated DRS Wildcats and the 9th-seeded TABC Storm. Now, this is a true David and Goliath type tale here. No one is expecting TABC to even make it close. Out of the 3 meetings that they faced them this year, the closest was an 11-point game.
But Yoni, you know, we spoke with the coaching staff and the TABC players before, and they don't believe that that's true. And that's perhaps most important. They said, we let 2 of the games get away from us, and anything can can happen. This is the 25th Sarachek tournament. We've seen crazier than TABC pulling off an upset here today.
What is the most important thing for the Storm to get off to a good start against this unbelievable team?
I think they need to make some shots early. We know that the DRS is a big team. They control the boards. But I think if TABC can just score some points, even if they're not winning, but just score some buckets little by little and stay in the game, then we'll be in business.
The starting lineups have taken the court. For TABC, it's Heidemann, Gersberg, one of their stars, Ty Gersberg, a name to remember, Andrew Haberman, Mo Proctor, and of course Gavi Smith, who came up huge in the win over the Warriors.
By the way, Gavi Smith lives in our neighborhood, Riverdale, New York, baby.
Hopefully one day I will see him hit an epic shot like the one he did yesterday.
Hopefully, maybe in the playground.
For DRS, Yoav Deutsch, Zev Ben-Ami, Jeremy Brody, Judah Levine, and of course, Gabe Leifert, the MVP of the Yeshiva League and the leader of this 28-0 Wildcat team. 7:49 on the clock, and here we go. It's Brody and Deutsch's backcourt mate going up against the 2-3 TABC zone matchup on the perimeter here so far. They're looking to pressure. Ben-Ami inside to Judah Levine. Swings it cross court to Deutsch, and they pull it out. Very patient offense. The Wildcats always look for their best shot. We have the first attempt, and it's off the back rim, no good. TABC in control.
That was a great possession by DRS, but I think an even better defense there by TABC, specifically controlling the defensive glass, something that we have to watch with DRS having a little more size.
Coach Stein said they will come out in this 2-3 zone. They've played it all year, and they will change for no team.
Well, we spoke to them. They said they may go to a 3-2, but zone is what they do. They control the glass underneath and don't allow second chance shots. So that's something, TBC has to be aggressive, but the other thing to watch, Yoni, is very, very short rotations for both these teams. So you're watching things like offensive rebounds and hustle. Both teams play about 5-6 guys max, so that's something to watch.
Normally, rebounding is a weakness for the 2-3 zone, but this team does it well, as we see Ty Gersberg. Remember that name, folks. He is the star of this team, and TABC comes out gunning.
But the patience that TABC showed on that possession, passing the ball around, getting the shot, cutting to the basket, that's ultimately what's going to be the key here this morning.
Early on, it certainly seems that the Storm's fans have come out in number. Not many cheering for the #1 seeded Cats today. Ben-Ami tries to get it in, and it's picked off by Gersberg. He's going 1-on-3. Look at the speed. Takes it in on Deutsch and puts it through the hoop. 4 straight for Gersberg.
Gersberg 4, Wildcat 0.
Great start for the Storm. It certainly couldn't be better right now. Can this team be rattled? They're so often running away with games. I wonder what the psyche will be if they're faced with a nail-biter.
I'm not sure they'll be rattled.
Leifert takes his first shot of the day off, and TABC doing a wonderful job boxing out the mountain Judah Levine inside.
We spoke to the TABC coaching staff and the players before, and while everybody focuses on Leifert, Levine is a big task to handle under the basket as well. So that's something we have to, that's something they want to focus on.
I've never had the privilege of seeing TABC play, but this is a team, don't be fooled by their record, folks. They're 6-8. They made the second round of the Yeshiva League playoffs before being ousted by, of course, DRS in a bloodbath. But all the same, this is a team that took the undefeated Heschel Hawks to overtime. They played Frisch very close, and this is a team they think that they can win. Coach Crossy said one game they were only down single digits at halftime, but they just ran out of gas. He says his players are in the best condition they've been all season. They are playing, as you said, with house money. They're looking to give it their all, and they're looking very good so far.
One of the things you have to keep in mind when you're talking about things like running out of gas and short rotations is play the game and control the game in the way you want to. So you're up 4-0, doesn't seem like a lot, but if you can control the pace, stay patient, that'll help TABC rest up, and that'll help them hopefully, stay close. And like in every David and Goliath matchup, what they like is that you stay close. You never know what can happen. You just don't want the game to get away.
We've seen crazier things than holding the ball for 2 minutes each time. There is no shot clock here. It's a polarizing issue among Sarachek supporters, especially after last year's tournament final, the epic multi-overtime victory for Frisch, in which they held the ball for almost an entire overtime.
That was a conversation I was just having with Yeshiva University Athletic Director Joe Bednarz before this game. And he said, I don't know why we don't put in a shot clock. Certainly something that's visited every year. But right now we got to focus on the rules and the task that we have at hand, and that's TABC up on DRS 4-0.
Gertzberg dribbling calmly, absolutely no rush in the Storm right now, playing with zero haste. You can be sure that they're going to look for every crack in this zone. Lifer playing up top, as you said he might. Look how much length he gives them.
They're now extending the zone. I think they want to bring the pressure on TABC and not let them just hold it. But a guy like Lifer is athletic and long, and even if he's just out there to apply the pressure, they're not in anybody's face, but that's something that's certainly intimidating if you're on the other side.
Still very tentative. TABC puts up a shot blocked by Levine and stripped by Lifer, who gets fouled. There's that defense. Once you go inside, even if you think you have room, all of a sudden a 7-foot arm will come out of nowhere and the ball's gone before you know it.
Yeah, and I think with Lifer playing out, that's going to force TABC to a little more pace. The key is being patient even when you think you have a shot that it's okay to hold the ball for 20, 30, 40 seconds on a possession.
Foul called inside. Levine took a bump there from Mo Proctor. It's still 4-0. We're almost halfway through the first quarter. DRS, who absolutely lit up Frisch in the Yeshiva League semifinal recently, this past week, has 0 points. Unexpected so far.
Yeah.
TABC staying good in their zone.
Yeah, Yoni, it's still early in the game. It's an early morning game. They sat through a triple overtime game before, so I wouldn't make more out of it than it is.
And Ben Ami right there, as soon as you finish speaking, hits the first shot for DRS. It's a 3, lead cut to 1. And as much press as Lifer gets, he slammed it down. That video against Frisch, slamming it down, crossing over his defender, has gone about as viral as a Yeshiva League basketball video can go. Hopefully more people will see it because it truly was a remarkable athletic feat. But as much press as he gets, and he deserves it, the rest of this Wildcat team is so effective. They really play to their strengths, all of them. You almost never see mistakes out of this backcourt.
Well, that's the key to winning. You don't go 27-0 and have your vision on 33-0 because of one guy. It's because of a team. It's because, Gaby's willing to draw the defense, and when the shot's not there, pass it out and get an open shot for his teammate.
Awesome block there from the much smaller Heidemann inside. It looked like Lifer had a clear shot to the basket. Still 4-3, 3:18 to go in this first Tier 1 quarterfinal. TABC's guards doing a great job getting out to the outside, but there's Levine inside. Just impossible, especially in this zone. I said rebounding is normally a deficiency of a zone. DRS, they compensate because they simply have 2 giants on the inside that just know how to play. But for TABC, they're going to experience some trouble boxing out those guys.
Well, for DRS, I think that's why they play the zone. It's because they don't worry about it's a good way to protect the paint, and they're not worried about the rebounding.
And on the flip side, TABC doesn't really have a choice. They don't have anyone that could match up on the inside with DRS's bigs. Gertzberg gets out of a dangerous trap. Lifer immediately converges on Heidemann, who somehow escapes. Find the open man jumper for Gavi Smith. No good. Athletic board by Gertzberg. Can't get the putback. Rebound, Lifer.
You got to like that hustle by Gertzberg. Not intimidated by Lifer standing right next to him and getting that offensive rebound. Next time, hopefully, they'll get that one in. You
get a feeling that they're going to have to hit every easy shot they can, and that one was a gimme. He might regret that as Levine passes it right back to Gertzberg. Running, finds Smith, takes it off the tip and finishes. Great play by Storm in transition.
And that's something they discussed, getting out of transition when possible, so we've seen them be patient on most of their possessions. When the opportunity presents itself, getting out and running.
6-3 TABC, 2 minutes left in the first quarter. A sluggish start for the Wildcats. And Gavi Smith again in transition, goes up against Lifer, who stuffs it down. Don't come in his house.
And if you're the TABC Storm, you got to take that one up strong if you're Gavi Smith. Don't worry about getting the block, but take it to the body. Kind of flipped it up underhand.
There was certainly a sense of impending doom for Gavi Smith as you saw Lifer close like a panther on that one. 6-3, 2 minutes left here. It's been a great start. You love seeing close games, and as cosmopolitan as the Sarachek tournament is, you have teams all across the country playing each other, and there's that air of mystery when, a West Coast meets an East Coast. You kind of love a good old-fashioned grudge match. TABC they're playing with fervor. They've already lost 3 times, so for them, it's largely an element of pride. They want to show these big guys, we can play with you. Not only that, we can beat you.
And if you're TABC, I'm not sure there's more you can ask for than being up 6-3 as the first quarter is coming to a close.
Ben Ami, he has DRS's only bucket, a 3-pointer. DRS also shallow on the bench, still playing their starters. Ben Ami, a fearless lefty drive right down the heart of the defense. He's got all 5 for the Wildcats.
And that's a strong drive. I think that may be exactly what DRS needs to kind of get going. A strong drive to the basket instead of settling for the outside jump shot.
DRS staying in this 3-2 zone. If TABC could just find one seam at the high post, they could really tear it apart. Gertzberg gets the pick, and there's a wide open jumper. Gavi Smith's got to hit that, misses it. There's Heidemann. He's showing he can play above the rim.
Absolutely, and that's unexpected, but just like that, Leifer gets his hands up at the top of the key and steals the ball.
Errant pass, Deutsch, Brody, foul line, pass to Leifer, has it tipped away, Levine loses it, and we have a grab call there. Good defense, good transition defense by Haberman. Certainly, they can't afford to give up any easy buckets to the Wildcats.
So I think on that possession, we saw exactly the strength and the weakness of switching from the 2-3 to 3-2, and that is that DRS gave up an offensive rebound, but alternatively, right after that, Leifer's out there with his hands out, just stealing the ball. So you see the strength and the weakness there at the same time.
The 3-2 zone has been effective. TABC really a team of guards. Mo Proctor is playing inside, but he's listed as a point guard and the media guide. Deutsch has it, swings it to Brody. Brody right across. Ben Ami, can he continue to fire? No. Proctor skies to tip it out, but it goes right back to Deutsch, and TABC playing defense again. Less than a minute to go. Ben Ami, will they hold for one? Levine flashes, doesn't get it at the high post. Brody, foul line, righty J, no good. Leifer skies, goes up and gets fouled. Another offensive rebound. And that is their biggest strength against this smaller TABC team.
Absolutely. I think it's how do they convert? How do they build the momentum? I don't think DRS wants a close game. I think DRS, if it's a close game, they're going to have to be, thinking about who knows what's going to happen. I think, from TABC's perspective, it looks like they're playing somewhat of a matchup 2-3, where one of the guards on the outside is going out to guard whoever has the ball, but the other one's dropping in to not let the easy pass into the foul line for Leifer to have an easy drive to the basket.
DRS with its first lead of the game just like that. 7-6 Leifer, a phenomenal free throw shooter, and he can also hit it from outside. Eitan Gertzberg has come into the game for the first time. And now it's Ty trying to take on 2 men, can't do it, back out to Smith. They just cannot get any penetration against this DRS zone. Still swinging it on the perimeter. Leifer more than happy to come out and guard him. Now it's Ty Gertzberg again in the exact same spot the possession began. Trying to cross him over, no give to Leifer. 7 seconds left. Crossing him up, down, and around, and he draws the foul. Looked like good D from Leifer there. Not giving any ground to the shaken and baking Gertzberg. 4.9 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this Tier 1 quarterfinal. Let's see what play the Storm can draw up here. Dangerous pass. Gertzberg catches it. He's got 3 seconds. Quick move in. Righty layup goes, and that's how the quarter ends. He has been phenomenal. Ty Gertzberg with 6. TABC with the lead after 1. We'll send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more action. Welcome back. We just saw a great start to this game. Normally you see teams struggling to score in the first quarters of these Sarachek games. Not really true here. TABC, they came out firing. DRS sluggish, but they're fighting back. But it is the underdog, Storm, who have the 1-point lead here at the Sarachek tournament.
Yeah, it was a close game. It was a close quarter. That's exactly what TABC wanted. I want to take this opportunity to quickly thank some of our sponsors. The entire team here at Yeshiva University, Coca-Cola, Dunkin' Donuts, Clip Keepers, 5-Star Catering, Sammy's Bagels. I had a bagel this morning, by the way. Delicious.
I missed
Worth
it.
the trip over the bridge. Carlos and Gabby's, Booker Promotions, Cadet Marketing, the CTA Baseball Invitational, LK Healthcare, Data Partners, and Step It Up Basketball, almost a lifetime partner of the MacsLive team. And after this quarter, we'll have the Step It Up Basketball Sleepaway Camp halftime show.
I've been lucky to be a part of MacsLive for a number of years now, and I can honestly say that thanks to the sponsors and, of course, the entire crew here at MacsLive, the broadcast has just improved so exponentially. Under 8 here in the half. TABC leading 8-7. Gertzberg, as he's shown, more than happy to hold the ball for as long as possible if he's not being pressured. Now it's Ben Ami has taken Leifer's place at the head of the 3-2 zone, perhaps to conserve energy or just to switch up their look. Heidemann out to Gertzberg, who's got 6 TABC points. Find an open Gavi Smith. Pump fakes past Levine. Floater no good. He hasn't been able to find his stroke. Proctor fights for it, but unable to take it away from Leifer. Deutsch with it for the Wildcats.
And that's a great possession. That's great hustle. I think that's where TABC has to get the opportunity to take advantage of Leifer moving down and take advantage of that 5-10 foot range.
You know, I said earlier that Coach Cross believes that his starters can hang with the Wildcats, but the main concern he has is that they get gassed. He said towards the end of games, especially against the Wildcats, they would get gassed as Ben Ami puts up another 3 and can't get it to go, and Proctor tips it out under pressure from Levine. He said he's just worried about their stamina, but on the flip side, DRS doesn't go very deep. You know, they're still playing their starters, and I watched their semifinal against Frisch. Their starters played even when they were up 20 points, so they do not have a deep rotation. Ben Ami, fearless today, throws up another one, can't get it to go, but there's the hand of Levine. That's everywhere. Brody will try a 3, no good, and finally, Heidemann grabs another rebound. TABC really scrapping, but if we're being honest, DRS has not been on thus far. If they start hitting their shots, it could be a runaway.
They're certainly getting some open threes, but you'd like to see them kind of work inside out to kind of get a rhythm going with only 7 points on the board here in the quarter, you know, almost halfway through the game.
Leifer only 2 field goal attempts so far, 1 blocked and 1 missed 3. Gertzberg so calm under pressure here. DRS not really going out as much as when they had Leifer in.
And we'd like to hear from you in our inbox, feedback at MacsLive.com.
Proctor goes off back rim, and Leifer grabs yet another board. Shot goes up, no good. Gertzberg, great box. Levine looked like he reached over, but it's justice is served as TABC will keep the ball anyway. Still with that 1-point lead, under 6 minutes here to go in the half. They just want to stay with them. They want to see if they can rattle this undefeated team as Levine comes out. That's a big opportunity here for the Storm. Perhaps they can finally get the ball inside. Akiva Ackerman has come in for the first time for the Wildcats. Now it's Brody up top, hounding Gertzberg. Finds inside Proctor. Picked off. Great anticipation by Deutsch. Proctor didn't even see him coming. Heidemann now all the way out in that zone, pressuring Brody, returning the favor. Brody goes around a Leifer pick to Deutsch. Leifer flashes, finds a cutting Ackerman, double pump layup, no good. Great rebound by Proctor there, TABC running.
And Ackerman, the brother of the legendary Esty Ackerman, the nationally ranked table tennis player.
Gavi Smith so good with that pump fake, finds Proctor, who just sees Leifer's body looming in front of him, panics and throws it away. Leifer looking to run, crosses over and draws the foul there by Eitan Gertzberg, who didn't really have a choice.
That's the second time we've seen that, first by Gavi Smith in the first quarter. I wonder if strategically TABC is saying when Leifer's coming down with the head of steam, don't let him get to the basket for a little slam-a-jamma.
Like I said, he didn't really have a choice because so many times you've seen Leifer, he's so big. You're not going to step in front of him, as Coach Cross has called a timeout. You're not going to step in front of him, so what are you going to do? That harmless grab from behind stops all the momentum and allows you to play your set defense. And with Levine out of the game, perhaps we'll see TABC establish some sort of inside presence and, more importantly for them, grab some more defensive rebounds. Story of the game so far, Ty Gertzberg, who is unquestionably their leader, though they get a lot of contribution, throughout their starting lineup. Mo Proctor, of course, Gavi Smith had wonderful games against RESG. And for DRS, just unable to find their rhythm so far. Ben Ami started hot, 5 points straight for the Wildcats. Since then, though, they've been in a bit of a drought. They haven't really scored in about 5.5 minutes.
But I think if you're DRS, if you're TBC, you got to be thrilled with where you're now. But if you're DRS, you got to say, listen, we're missing a lot of shots, and it's not like we're getting blown out. We're down by 1 point here.
I'm sure they're not worried. They've been in positions before where they have to win games, and they've done it every time. Brody to Deutsch. Ackerman, the only sub thus far for the Wildcats. Now it's Brody up top. Ben Ami swinging it around, playing catch for the guards of the Wildcats. Heidemann Lets Brody through, puts up the floater. Beautiful move. He's going to take what the defense gives him.
The bank is open today here, Yoni.
9-8, under 5 to play in this Tier 1 quarterfinal. You can see all the Tier 1 quarterfinals on MacsLive today. Proctor tries to get his first points. Still coming up, Barron. Lifer grabs yet another board, his 5th of the game. Heidemann bodying him up, not letting him inside. Now it's Brody. Deutsch, DRS, 1 point lead, 4.5 to go. Ben-Ami pump fakes, but took a step. Gertzberg happy about it. TABC's defense, as good as you can expect so far. They're willing to give up the deep J in exchange for extra men down low.
Absolutely, and so far that's worked for them with the opportunity, with a lot of missed shots. A little clock malfunction here. Again, feedback at MacsLive.com. We'd love to hear from you in our Clip Keepers inbox. A quick shout out to our dear friend Benny Statman, who came in just to help us with the setup on the first day of the tournament and is now back out in California studying to be a dentist. Where are his priorities, Yoni?
Wonderful guy, Benny. Thanks for coming out and helping us here. Slim pass. Gertzberg takes his first 3. A rainbow. Look at that rotation. No good. Lifer, hands on his head, throws it right back to him. Gertzberg out to his brother. Dribbles it in. Ackerman stops him, and he throws it right to Ben-Ami. Careless with the ball. They cannot afford to do that. They need to play a near-perfect game. Deutsch thinks about it and pulls it back out. Brody, Ben-Ami, Ackerman's available. They find him. Wide open Jay passes it up. This zone is also very, very suspect to backdoor cutters. We'll see if they can take advantage of that. Heidemann really so active up top. He's been the heart and soul of this defense thus far.
And you got to like what you're seeing from TABC. Everybody with their hands up, playing real defense, understanding that every possession really does count here.
Ackerman seems reluctant to shoot when he has that open shot all day. Lifer will take a jumper, rims out, no good. Gertzberg flies in to tip it out to his brother. He's taking up the court. Still, no points in this second quarter for TABC, but that suits them just fine here. Only down 1. Heidemann, fearless, looks like he traveled, instead finds Proctor, who's blocked by Lifer. His second of the day. Brody looking to run. He's got a one-on-one with Gertzberg. He takes it, blocked, but a foul. Looked like a wonderful defensive play, but Brody will go to the line for 2.
And that's something that the DRS coaching staff and team told us all about. They're not worried about penetration. They're not worried about the other team getting offensive rebounds. Quite frankly, they trust in their big men. And even when Lifer's in there by himself with Levine on the bench now, they're still controlling everything under the basket.
Well, in that semifinal victory over Frisch, Lifer had almost 10 blocks. And Andrew Langer, possibly the best player for Frisch this season and a great player in his own right, after being blocked 2 or 3 times driving in down low, you start thinking about it. The Storm have already faced the hands of Levine and Lifer inside on a number of occasions, and you got to hope that it doesn't weigh on them and they don't stop taking it to the hoop.
And like we discussed earlier, there's that 5 to 10 foot range that really is the weak part in the zone. And when you got a guy like Lifer and Levine under the basket blocking your shots, that may be where TABC should be thinking about pulling up instead of going in for those layups.
Brody's first shot was a clanker, his second one as well, but he tips out his own rebound. Yet another offensive board for the Wildcats. They've been doing that effectively all game. Heidemann out in this zone with Gabi Smith playing against this backcourt. Now it's Brody, so quick, stops, pops, misses it. Ackerman fighting for it. And he comes up with it, and then he's fouled. He's pushed by the new sub, Shlomo Krupnik. Really awful boxing out there from the Storm. They simply cannot afford it. I don't know how many times I can say this, but rebounding is so pivotal in a game like this. When you're the underdog, you're not expecting to win. As Krupnik gets punished for that play, and Proctor re-enters the game.
And the other issue, I think, is that these are not rebounds that are being grabbed above the rim. They're falling down, they're being tipped out. So that's where boxing out really becomes key. It's not like we're saying, oh, they're just so much more athletic, they're just so much bigger, but rather it's going back to the fundamentals, playing the defense and boxing out. And there's nothing more disheartening than playing a great defensive possession than giving up an offensive rebound.
An important foul as that sent DRS into the bonus. They will be shooting from here until the end of the half. Lead stretched to 3. Heidemann, great pass to Proctor, blocked a bit there by a running Ben-Ami. So many blocks, so quick and so active, this Wildcat D looking to stretch this lead. Lifer doesn't even think about it and leaves his 3 short. Gertzberg looking to run. This is smart. Maybe they can get an open look. Heidemann takes it in and misses the bunny. Ben-Ami there for the rebound. Tough break there for the Storm. Now Lifer looking to take on the entire team. One step, two step, no good. Ackerman, another offensive board. He can't finish. Lifer can't finish. Looking for the foul. Arms raised to the sky. Where's the call? TABC's got it.
And that's something, Lifer, there may have been a little bit of contact there, but, you got to finish those around the rim.
TABC still has not scored in the second quarter. Gertzberg to Gertzberg. Takes it out. Now it's Proctor inside. He's been unable to find his stroke, and neither has Gavi Smith, the hero of their Tier 1 qualifying win over RASG. Gertzberg trap, gives it out to Heidemann. Heidemann dribbling with his head down, needs to find an open man. Brody and Ben-Ami flanking him, and he draws the foul. Only the third team foul.
The DRS defense is controlled, sits back in the zone. Even when they put the pressure on, that's only 3 fouls. Playing an aggressive type defense for almost 2 quarters of basketball and only 3 fouls is an impressive show of patience and of discipline.
Only 1:15 here left in the half of this first Tier 1 quarterfinal at Sarachek, and TABC has been held scoreless by this ferocious zone led by Gabriel Lifer on the inside, blocking everything and everything that comes his way. Gertzberg dribbles through everyone and puts it in. Smooth operator. That's his 8th point out of 10 for TABC.
And he got behind Lifer on that, was able to lay it up and in.
Only 50 seconds to go. DRS can hold for one if they so choose. Deutsch on the outside. Brody takes one dribble. Now it's Ben-Ami. Throws it to Lifer, who can't handle it, and another turnover. TABC hanging tough so far. 41 seconds left to go in the half. Can they take the lead?
And that's the 3rd turnover for DRS here. TABC with, that's the 6th turnover for DRS. TABC with 8 here in the first half.
30 seconds to go. Heidemann content to hold it. DRS slowly approaching. Those guards have caused a number of turnovers by jumping the passing lanes. Gertzberg, he's been so good here today. Crosses over Brody. Looks like he wants to hold for one. Dribbles through him effortlessly. He's got the ball on a leash. Only the 4th team foul, though, for DRS. 15 seconds to go.
And TABC, I think, if they can just control and get a good shot here, they're going to be happy regardless of the result.
Haberman comes back in, as does Levine for the defense. 11-10, the number 1 seeded Wildcats with the slimmest of leads over the 9th seeded underdogs, the TABC Storm. Gertzberg gets the ball, and he's immediately picked up by Brody. 10 seconds on the clock here in this half. Ben-Ami sitting on the side, gets a pick from Heidemann. Gertzberg takes it up against the Twin Towers, and he puts it through. Gertzberg, unbelievable. Lifer shot, no good, and that is how the half ends. Are you kidding me? Ty Gertzberg, the only player in double digits, 12-11. We're going to send it to Simi on the DRS sideline. Simi, what do you got?
With Coach Stein. Coach, you guys got off to a slow start. What can we expect more on the offensive end in the second half?
We seem to be having some technical
Sounds
difficulties
good, Coach.
here.
All right, Coach,
Simi
back to
was
you guys.
supposed to interview Coach Stein there. Unfortunately, I believe we missed out on that, but that is how the half ends. What an absolutely exciting first half with TABC led by Ty Gertzberg leading the undefeated number 1 seeded DRS Wildcats. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the Step It Up Basketball Sleepaway Camp halftime show.
Welcome to the Step It Up Basketball Halftime Show on MacsLive. Are you ready to step it up? Find out at timetostepitup.com.
Step It Up is not your typical basketball camp. We produce unbelievable results. You will get better here. You will get better as a person. You will get better as a player. That's the Step It Up way.
Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center here at Yeshiva University. We are halfway through the first Tier 1 quarterfinal between the number 1 seeded DRS Wildcats and the 9th seeded underdog TAB Storms. Welcome to the Step It Up Basketball Sleepaway Camp Halftime Show. Now, I know, Daniel, you have a number of things you want to say about Step It Up.
And Step It Up has been almost, as I said, almost a lifetime sponsor run by YU Max assistant coach Yogev Berdugo. And it is Step It Up Basketball is a sleepaway basketball camp for modern Orthodox boys grades 4 to 12. It's his 6th year in running of the camp under Yogev Berdugo, the assistant men's basketball coach at YU, who helped YU to its first home playoff game in 18 years. What a night that was. For the summer of 2016, Step It Up is thrilled to return to the beautiful campus of Colby Sawyer College in New London, New Hampshire, a private 200-acre college nestled in Lake Sunapee region. The campus boasts gorgeous facilities that include 6 indoor courts, 3 outdoor courts, a swimming pool, turf field, grass fields, rock climbing wall, weight room, tennis courts, baseball field, and all of that. Close to 20% of the players at Sarachek have been to Step It Up basketball camp at some point, and 36 players playing at Sarachek this year out of the 200 are going to be at Step It Up this year. It's only a 4.5-hour bus ride from New York, convenient from all the other airports, and we can't thank them enough for all their support. We encourage everybody to check them out at timetostepitup.com.
Now, you know, I have been with MacsLive. I've been privileged to be doing these broadcasts for a number of years, and Step It Up really has been a great sponsor, of course, along with all the other sponsors here that make this broadcast so great. LK Healthcare Data Plumbers, the CTA Baseball Invitational, Carlos and Gabby's, Booker Promotions, Cadet Marketing, Clip Keepas, Dunkin' Donuts, 5-Star Catering, Sammy's Bagels, Coca-Cola, Yeshiva University, all of the offices, Westchester Dermatology, Teaneck Doghouse, Roast Homestyle Chicken, Chopsticks, Dougie's, and of course, don't forget to like us, MacsLive on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, all the good stuff, all the social media, Foursquare. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I came here from Yale and Harvard, and I prefer Yeshiva College because the students are more motivated and because I see more progress from the beginning of the course to the end of the course than I did at those places.
I came to YU for a few reasons. One, because of the Jewish environment, which I wanted to be a part of in college, and the great financial program. Being part of a team takes up a lot of your time, and you have to know how to balance school with sports and manage your time wisely. When you move on to your career, it's an important quality to have. Being part of the athletics program at YU is a privilege for a student who's on the team, but also for somebody who's off the team. Everybody knows somebody that's on a team. Everybody comes out to support the games. It's a privilege to represent a Jewish school. People know that we're the Yeshiva University Maccabees, and we made it to the playoffs. I think everybody is part of the YU Maccabee family.
Here at YU, we bring out the potential and we encourage students to really be the best that they can be and really follow their dreams and their passions.
Get such a thing. You have a yeshiva university where you have students come together in a university yeshiva setting. 150 guys at a tish, rocking, singing, really getting involved in what the Shabbos experience is.
Welcome back. We're almost ready to tip off the second half of this Tier 1 quarterfinal. TABC, shockingly, not only holding DRS to just 11 points and holding Gabe Leifer to only 2 points, but they're winning by 1, 12-11. We're going to send it quickly down to the sideline. Eliezer is with Coach Cross.
Half. Coach, your team's up by 1 point. You guys had a good start to the beginning of the half. What did you say worked for you at the beginning when you guys were able to start that 4-point lead?
Just defensive intensity. We got out to the shooters, and we hustled back, clogged the weak side, and we rebounded.
Coach, it's so integral and so important that your team opens up this lead in the second half. What's the message that you sent to your team before the beginning of this second half?
No real message. It's basketball. They're going to go on the run. We're going to go on the run. So if we go up 4 or they go up 4, we just got to keep playing.
Thank you very much, Coach. Best of luck to you. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Eliezer and Coach Cross, for that interview. We're about a minute away here, and some very interesting storylines unfolding. TABC really getting things done on the inside. Credit has to be given to Aaron Heidemann, listed only at 5'10", 150, and Mo Proctor, both of them listed as guards, on the inside leaping. Of course, TABC has given up some second chances. DRS unable to convert, and Leifer with 2 points. And on the other side, TABC stud Ty Gertzberg really unleashing his skill set, dribbling through the defense almost at will with 10 points for himself.
The key to this game, we said before, was controlling the pace of your TABC and getting good shots. Yes, they've turned the ball over 8 times, but other than those 8 possessions that they turned the ball over, they're getting good shots. A few blocks. They're not anxious about that. But what they're doing is they are being patient, and Gertzberg is getting to the basket and creating for himself, which hopefully will open it up for others. Now, if you're DRS coming into the second half, you got to just put the first half behind you. It's only a 1-point game. It's basically starting from scratch and say, okay, guys, we got off to a close start. We got up at 6 o'clock this morning, left the 5 towns at 6:30. All that's behind us. Now we're nice and warm, and let's go. Let's continue this season on our wonderful undefeated journey that we're going for.
It may just come out to who wants it more. TABC playing for everything. DRS preoccupied, perhaps, with the looming Yeshiva League final against a fellow undefeated team, the Heschel Hawks.
The Yeshiva League final, I believe, is against the Flatbush Falcons, Yoni. Big upset. Heschel lost to Flatbush, but they're 29-0 this year, and they have their eye on 30. They have their eye on the prize of 33-0 as the starters are back in the game. Levine checking back in and giving them that big size.
Brody up top. Now it's Ben-Ami. He started hot. He has 5 points. Leifer inside blocked, but a foul call, and not a foul, a travel. Mo Proctor came in there, surprised the big man. That's the second time Leifer was blocked today.
And to me, the biggest thing that shows is that TABC is taking it to the DRS Wildcats. They're saying, we're going to try to block you. We're not intimidating. This is all that we have to play for right now.
Gavi Smith inside. He can hit the outside 3. He's been unable to find the stroke today. A very careless turnover, miscommunication between he and Proctor. TABC yet to connect on a 3. It's been all Gertzberg driving today. Leifer throws a nice cross-court pass. Deutsch tries to blow by Gertzberg. Nothing there. Leifer now taking Proctor one-on-one, and that's too easy. Gabe Leifer, beautiful righty finish. DRS back in the lead.
And Gabe Leifer getting off to a quicker start in this half, taking the ball to the basket strong twice, got blocked the first time, but if he goes to the basket enough, Yoni, I have no worries that he's going to start tallying some buckets.
Well, if he sees that he has a one-on-one, he's going to take it in every time. He knows that there's no one that can match up physically. Proctor yet to connect on that open shot. It's a nice-looking stroke, just hasn't been able to connect. Now, normally, TABC has been able to send a second defender over to help out on the inside of the zone, the interior. That time, Leifer, one quick move, blow by, open layup. Ben-Ami, 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Now it's Deutsch. Right back out to Zev Ben-Ami. Inside Leifer again. So patient inside, now throws a cross quarter to Deutsch. Ben-Ami calls for it, doesn't get it. Brody and Deutsch playing catch. Now it's Ben Ami on the right side. Levine, so tall, he can find anyone he wants, even if there's a guy in his face.
DRS with great skip passing, moving the ball around the court, showing great patience, just waiting for the shot that they want.
Heidemann doing a great job of collapsing on the high post. Leifer draws the foul. Seems he was pushed there by Proctor. He can't believe it. DRS still up 1. 5:58 left to play in this Tier 1 quarterfinal. And stay tuned. We have such great upcoming action for you all day today. Up next, we have Heschel Frisch, a Tier 1 clash that I'm sure many people are here to see. But before that, this contest has yet to be decided. Still very much up in the air. DRS only up 1. Levine flashes. Miscommunication there. Doesn't make him pay, but Ben Ami able to grab yet another offensive board. Brody thinks about a 3, takes a step in, instead passes it out. All the time in the world. Levine doesn't even think about it and then throws it to Gabi Smith. Great defense there from Haberman. TABC's defense just as patient as DRS's offense.
And DRS back in that 3-2 with the 2 big men down low as Levine, no call there, lots of contact.
Gertzberg was absolutely hacked there, but no call, and then Leifer gets the ticky-tacker. Here at MacsLive, of course, we have no dogs in this race, but that sure looked like a foul to me.
You know, all I have to say is I like the aggressive play. You're not always going to get the call, but I hope that TABC continues to take the ball to the DRS Wildcats and their 2 big fellas underneath.
Deutsch, open triple, and he swishes it right down the bottom of the net. Biggest lead of the game there for DRS. It's stretched to 4. 5 minutes to go now. Every play is a danger time for TABC. They cannot let the Wildcats get firm control. Proctor somehow comes up with it. More contact, no call, and then Leifer just takes it away. Proctor furious with himself. Ben Ami goes up for it and pulls it down to Levine, who can't finish again. Gets his own board and draws the foul. The indomitable inside play, surprisingly, of Zev Ben Ami. That is his 4th offensive rebound of the contest. Levine going to the line for 2.
And that's, Levine underneath. Now the key is going to be, can he hit the free throws? But underneath, it's a daunting task to see Leifer and Levine. Even from up here in the booth, you look down and you say, those are two big young men out there.
We said that this would have to go perfectly for TABC to really mount an upset challenge. Levine's first free throw good. He just cannot find the basket today. And so far, they've been unable to convert on second chances. Gertzberg, he had that fearless drive, didn't get rewarded for it. But as it is, they're just giving up too many boards to stay in it.
And we want to give a quick shout out to Sue Proctor, Mo Proctor's aunt living in California, who's a huge fan of TABC.
Unbelievable from Zev Ben Ami. Another offensive board, and this time he complements it with a putback. Lead stretched to 6.
And again, we welcome all your feedback at feedback@MacsLive.com. And that's now 10 offensive rebounds for the DRS Wildcats.
18-12. And we've been plugging Leifer nonstop. But here's a fun fact. Like I said, this whole team is so good. 2 years ago, Yoav Deutsch was the MVP in the JV championship, a team he played on with Leifer. He scored 26 points and hit 7 3-pointers. This entire team can play. TABC really needs to step it up before the Wildcats find a rhythm. And that might fall on the shoulders of Ty Gertzberg. Heidemann, great pass inside. Gertzberg to Haberman, who can't finish. Another gimme. So many missed opportunities for the Storm.
And Yoni, I'm impressed with your sources out there. Seems like you almost have an insider on the DRS faculty.
Leifer effortlessly goes through, and I do shout out to Rabbi Aaron Fletcher. I know right now he's teaching, but his heart and soul are with this Wildcat team. He loves them. And he's guaranteeing a few Deutsch triples. Leifer scores again, lead at its biggest, 2012,
and
3:37
Coach Cross
to play.
livid with the referees, letting them have it right now. Can't believe he's not getting the calls on his side. And if I'm TABC, I'm now starting to get a little worried.
Tragic memories for the Storm here. They've played DRS 3 times already this season, all losses. And every time they've been going into halftime with a very surmountable lead.
And despite what I'm hearing from in front of the MacsLive booth, I have no anticipation of DRS slowing this game down. Calls for a shot clock, wanting the game to stay interesting. I say,
well, calls from the peanut gallery often get ignored here in MacsLive.
you know, people who have won in this tournament, like Ari Wachtenheim, think that they can go out and make criticisms of this tournament. But you and I, we've been here longer, and we stand by the decisions made by the committee.
But they might slow it down. 20-12. They certainly have control. TABC just unable to find anything. Once again, they're being shut out in a quarter here. They cannot find any offense. Gertzberg he's been their one source of offense. He really needs to start taking it in. Great find. Heidemann outside, picked up by Brody. Now it's back to Gertzberg. You got to think, how much more gas does this guy have? He's been dribbling it around so much today. Now it's Proctor who has not scored today. Gertzberg, crossover, great move, finds Heidemann inside, draws the foul. Gertzberg just cutting and slicing this zone apart. Heidemann playing huge for his height. He'll be going to the line for a much-needed 2 free throws.
And if you're the Storm, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for penetration in the zone and the ability to get some easy shots underneath, and the worst case gets fouled. You know, that's only the first foul of this quarter. DRS is very good at just keeping their hands up. Since they're so much bigger, they block. But, you know, you got to do what you can.
As long as they keep it close, you never know what's going to happen. Heidemann converts on both free throws, and TABC opens up in a little press. They pick up DRS full court. Ben-Ami corrals an errant ball. Deutsch finds Leifer, almost doesn't see Proctor coming, but manages to find Levine inside. Cannot get it to go. Leifer somehow gets over there and finishes with the right hand. He was all the way across the court a second ago, and another bucket for Gabe Leifer. He's really stepping it up. Heidemann fearless and gets hacked. He's going to the line for another 2. Great play there from Aaron Heidemann. He's been a real spark for the Storm today.
And it was just a few minutes ago that we were saying Gabe Leifer's going to need to pick it up. That's 6 points in this half.
8 points for him. He is DRS's leading scorer. Second, Ben-Ami with 7. Heidemann rims out his 3rd free throw. Doesn't like it as Eitan Gertzberg comes in the game, and Andrew Haberman will sit down.
DRS on an 11-2 run right now, and this to open up this second half. And that's exactly what we discussed that DRS wants to do. But if you're TABC, you got to focus on chipping away little by little, and the free throw stripe is a good place to start.
Also, they have outside shooters. As Heidemann converts the second free throw, they have yet to hit a three-pointer here today. Neither team shooting very well, as Ackerman in the game for the Wildcats, up 7, under 3 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats so good at stretching this zone with these skip passes. Brody, hard drive, finds Ben-Ami. Leifer, open 3, no good. And there's Ben-Ami tipping it out, and Deutsch controls it. TABC just unable to find their men to box out. Deutsch, now Brody. Ben-Ami, a lefty. Dribbles in past 3 men, finger roll up and in, and he has taken over the scoring lead for the Wildcats. That's 9 for Zev Ben-Ami, lead up to 9.
Talk about touch around the basket, Yoni. The little finger roll. I was hoping he's going to go off the glass, but the finger roll worked just fine there.
And these Wildcat guards are going to test this zone. You know, they're so preoccupied, the Storm are, with guarding Leifer inside that they're not closing out on the guards if they try to penetrate. Proctor, he'll try another jumper, yet to find the bucket. Tough day for him as Leifer pulls down yet another rebound, and that is his 10th. One more bucket, and he'll have yet another double-double. High post, beautiful pass to Ackerman. Contact, no call. Ben-Ami there, almost pulls it in, can't get it to go. Contact, and TABC comes up with it. The Gertzbergs in the backcourt. Now here's Ty. Ty's been quiet, crosses over, leaps with the left hand, but cannot finish. What a move. And Leifert gets fouled. That seems to be the play there. Gertzberg, as we mentioned, they did it twice in the second half. They don't want him getting ahead of steam, but it's undoubtedly danger time for the TABC Storm. They're down 9. DRS can put it to double digits with a bucket.
But if you're TABC, you got to focus one possession at a time, first on the defensive end and then on the offensive end, trying to find something. I mean, the first quarter they were able to get in the inside the paint. At the end of the second quarter, they scored 4 points in the last minute and a half. But now they only have 3 points this quarter.
The TABC fans begging for something to cheer about. Leifer takes it in on everyone but can't finish. And there's Proctor with a strong board. They've been missing that. Brody, wonderful anticipation, can't come up with the steal. He was just waiting for that, and then he pounced. TABC will control. 58.7 seconds. Ackerman, he's been a valuable sub. He'll come out. Levine come in. And for TABC, Haberman will come in for Heidemann, who's been ruthless, running around the zone, leaping for loose balls, just hasn't been able to come up with enough to cut into this 9-point lead.
And I want to take this opportunity again to thank all of our sponsors, specifically the Clip Keepers. Feedback at MacsLive.com is our Clip Keepers inbox. We always love to hear from you. Compliments, criticisms. We're always here looking to get better. That's our goal. And
just let us know. Questions, comments, general musings. Jumper, no good. Proctor, it is just a brutal day for that young man. 0 of 7 from the field, unable to connect. 20 seconds left here. Ben-Ami showing every intent to hold for one. 24-15. TABC's jump shots have just deserted them. They were there yesterday. Gabi Smith, he was canning some threes. Unable to hit, though. And Levine now with it outside. 5 seconds. I don't know if he's aware of the clock. Deutsch is the lefty. Swings it. Ben-Ami, 3. No good. Levine almost follows it with a dunk. But that's how the quarter will end. DRS, the undefeated, the 1 seed, leading by 9. We'll see if TABC can cut into that in our final quarter right after this break. Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center here at Yeshiva University for this Tier 1 quarterfinal, the first of the day. Of course, the others coming up, Heschel Frisch, Valley Torah Eula, and Shalhevet versus YHS.
And if you're tuning in to hear the next game, which should have been starting right around now, Heschel Frisch, we apologize. The game before this one went into triple overtime, so we're running a little behind schedule.
Just a nuts game that featured everything you could want. You know, clutch shooting, unwanted timeouts, and just a nail-biting finish.
And if you're just tuning into this game, we're going to catch you up a little bit. It was a nail-biter after the first quarter. TABC was up 8-7. They were up 12-11 at halftime, a very low-scoring second quarter. But in the third quarter, DRS blew it open with a 13-3 quarter. And quite frankly, what's more concerning than the 13 points by DRS is the fact that TABC just can't seem to find their shots.
And, you know, it almost seemed inevitable. DRS, they don't look like they're trying any harder than they were in the first quarter. They're just converting, where in the first half, they converted a lot less. Leifer has come alive. He has 8 points and 10 boards. Ty Gertzberg only 2 points in that quarter. Proctor finally finds the bucket. They needed that. 24-17. First blood in this fourth drawn to the Storm.
That one was for you, Ansu.
7:30. Now the Storm supporters making their voices heard. Can they come up with a run? 1-3 away from really making this a game. Brody, Ben-Ami, he's been fantastic. Now Deutsch, so careful with the ball, the Wildcat guards. Levine flashing, Heidemann doing a great job protecting that lane. Smith closes on Brody, now it's Ben-Ami, thinks about a deep three, pump fakes it away. Brody, 2 moves, feeds inside but took an extra dribble, pleading with the referee. I didn't, but he did. Turnover, 7:06 to go. Can TABC mount a meaningful comeback?
This is a critical possession here from TABC. At the least, you got to get a good shot. But if you can get a bucket here, cut the lead to 5, maybe 4.
Again, contact all over Gertzberg. He has been fearless, and he has done an excellent job challenging the bigs. He just hasn't gotten the calls. He has to keep doing that, though. He has to be aggressive. And if TABC starts hitting its jumpers, you know, you never know. Gabi Smith, flanked by Brody. Great play by the Wildcat guard to sniff out that inbounds play. Heidemann takes a floater and gets nothing but air on that. Shlomo Krupnik has come in the game for the Storm. Leifer taking it up against Heidemann. No giving that kid at all. He is just an energizer bunny up top. Now Leifer playing point. Finds Brody. Now it's Ben-Ami. Leifer was dominant inside. We'll see if they utilize it. Deutsch a 3, and he cans it. Remember, this is the 27-point scorer, the MVP of the JV championship 2 years ago, and the lead is at its largest. 10 points. Proctor, ball taken away by Leifer. DRS looking to put this one to bed. Brody in transition to Deutsch when he had the wide open layup. Chose not to take it, perhaps a little too unselfish. Gertzberg jumps on Deutsch's back, draws the foul.
And, you know, that was a great, Deutsch is a guy with a beautiful jump shot. I think he's a lefty. Reminds me of a young Yoni Pollock out there before he was stuck behind a desk all day. And right now, this is crunch time. A 10-point lead with 6 minutes left. If you are TABC, you got to hope for stops, then hope to get something going on the other end. As Gavi Smith skying for the rebound there.
TABC really needs to make a run now if they're going to make one at all. Proctor, high post, stuffed again, and he just hangs his head in anguish. It has been rough going for that solid player here today. Timeout. Coach Stein and DRS up 10, under 6 to go. Just nothing they can do inside against the giants of the Wildcats.
And you know what? TABC, some of the players hanging their heads, but what you got to love about high school basketball, and specifically the Red Sarachek tournament, of which we are in the 25th anniversary, is the other players coming out and cheering on their teammates. Drew Stromer popping up off the bench. Tsitzis flying, hugging and clapping five, clapping, saying, let's go, guys, we're still in this. 5:43 is a lot of time. I think TBC has to hope for a combination of some misses by DRS, but they got to start making some buckets.
Well, you know, it is and it isn't, because without a shot clock, DRS isn't beholden to anything. They can just hold the ball as long as they wish. With 10 points between them, TABC has a true uphill slog ahead of them. DRS so patient, so composed, so poised on D, only 2 team fouls committed. So TABC won't even be going to the line. They're going to need to start pressuring, look for a full court press as Heidemann tips it out and almost comes up with it. They need to generate some turnovers, some mayhem on the defensive end, and come up with some extra possessions. 27-17. Of course, stay tuned after this game for more exciting Tier 1 action, Heschel versus Frisch.
TABC switching to a man-to-man, I think out of desperation, try to get the ball. But this is a dangerous move to go to with a guy like Gabriel Leifer being able to go into the basket.
Double-edged sword. Forget about Leifer. It's Ben Ami. Can't finish. Ball tipped out. And that's been the bane of the Storm today, as Ben Ami can't finish. Just too many offensive boards, and most of them not even by the Wildcat bigs. Gertzberg. Now Heidemann pump fakes out. Doesn't have anything. Inside, Proctor yet again draws the foul. Raises his hands as if to say, finally, the Storm haven't been able to get anything from the officials today. No mercy for the underdog, but he's going to the line for 2.
You know, Yoni, I'm not sure it's the officiating as much as it is you got to play aggressive, and then when you got to get there, you got to make those free throws. Cut into the lead little by little.
Certainly this lead has not been generated by any bias, which of course doesn't exist, as Proctor doesn't hit the shot. It's just TABC. You knew, I've said it twice already, they had to execute their game plan perfectly. And they've just given up too many offensive rebounds, which you knew would happen, and they just haven't converted on their few opportunities. Proctor misses both. Your heart goes out to that kid and the way he's been shooting today. Leifer breaks the press effortlessly. Wide open Ackerman, they can't see him, and there's no pressure anyway to do it.
You know, Yoni, when you look at the numbers, you look at the stats, it's just crazy to look at. DRS has 27 rebounds, 13 on the offensive end and 14 on the defensive end. That's the story of the game.
You're shooting yourself in the foot. Of course, to a greater extent, it's credit deserved for the Wildcats. They've just been too athletic, too active, and to a large extent too big. You look at them standing there at the foul line. Leifer towering over both Gertzbergs. As we have a sub in the game, Haberman will come in for the smaller Gertzberg. Lead still at 10. Brody at the line for another. 4:53 left in this Tier 1 quarterfinal. Second free throw good. Lead at its largest at 11. Gertzberg knows he's got to run. They need points, and they need them now. He's got it at the top, but Brody not giving him any room. Gets a double screen, ineffective. Now it's Smith. Smith hasn't been able to find any breathing room. Proctor, ball tipped out again, saved by Haberman. Heidemann on the inside. You're not going to be able to shoot over Leifer. Gertzberg dribbling with his left. Now out to Heidemann, wasting just too much time. Smith closed, throws it away. Proctor unable to save it. And what can you say other than what defense by the Wildcats? Smith thought he had some room. As soon as he caught it, Ben Ami was on him like glue. 28-17, Storm opening the press. Ben Ami throws it away, stripped away by Smith. They need a run right now. Inside, Heidemann, reverse layup, good. Lead back down to single digits. That's exactly what they need.
And that's a momentum builder down, but they're down 9, but the press is broken pretty easily, and now they got to worry about
Deutsch in trouble, and he calls the timeout. Great aggressive defense. Where has this been? They're going to need a lot more of it with 4:06 to play.
You know, it's one thing to be aggressive on the defensive end, but TABC has 6 team fouls. So the next foul, you don't want to get a ticky-tack one. You want to put the pressure on, and hopefully little by little you can start building momentum.
DRS hasn't really seen this full court press yet. It's 28-19. They have a 9-point lead. They've only gained 1 point since that 5.5-minute mark. They need to do much better if they're going to make this a game. 28-19, winner. Moving on to the Tier 1 semis, which we'll have here for you on MacsLive on Big Sunday. Of course, stay tuned. We have great action coming up from you. All 3 quarterfinals after this one coming up on MacsLive. Frisch versus Heschel. Valley Torah versus Eula. And Shalhevet versus YHS. 4:06 to go. Will Gertzberg find his offense? He has been so quiet. He's been held scoreless. But on the other side, you know, what does it say for the Wildcats that Leifer, although he's got, you know, wonderful stats, he's had a great game, he hasn't even been their leader thus far?
Well, I think it says that the team is able to play together. You don't win 29 games in a season up to this point on one guy's back, but it also says about him that he understands that drawing the defense is sometimes as important as
oh my goodness, an effortless no-looker, but Levine, he and Proctor have really been struggling today.
But that proves what I was about to say, is that he understands that the defense focuses on him, and if he can just get the ball to other people and put them in a position to succeed, the shots will then in turn come for him.
Brody all over them. Gertzberg, pump fakes, goes up against Levine, and finally draws his first foul. He deserved that one. He has been almost reckless the way he's been attacking the rim.
And I just want to inform all of our listeners out there to try to, so that we understand where everybody goes from here. This is a complicated tournament. This is the Tier 1 quarterfinal game. The winner of this game will play at either 3 or 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, barring any triple overtime games before that. And the loser will play at either 9 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. in a Tier 1 consolation. Again, if you are tuning in to hear Heschel versus Frisch, we have 3:39 remaining in this first of the Tier 1 quarterfinal games. We're a little behind schedule, but we hope that you will bear with us.
Gertzberg, a brutal missed free throw. They need every point they can muster. Second, down the bottom of the net, 28-20. Ben Ami looks to get it in early to break this press. Brody stops, finds Deutsch cross court, time ticking. Deutsch gonna dribble into a trap, but manages to get by and finds Leifer. Leifer's got the whole court to pass to, finds Ackerman. Ackerman dribbles out of trouble and finds Brody. Great patience, great vision by these Wildcats. Not intimidated by this press. Leifer says, you're going to give me room. I'm going to hit the shot. Easy 2-foot floater. Lead back to double digits.
And that's a double-double for Gabriel Leifer now with 12 points, 9 on the defensive end, 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 1 assist.
Timeout after Heidemann once again finding the crease at the back of that zone. He has really been spectacular. An unsung hero today for TABC. He and Gertzberg have really almost double-handedly made this a game.
But Yoni, here at MacsLive, we watch the games as professionals and as fans, and as a fan, there's nothing you can hope for more than a team like TABC not laying down, not giving up and saying, this is what we want to do, this is our season here. We are, quote, as they said, playing with house money, and so keeping the game close. And you know what? You never really know. A couple turnovers, a couple buckets here and there, but I think they have to focus on the defensive end and then be aggressive on the offensive end as well.
5 players have scored for the Wildcats. Of course, their leader right now, Gabe Leifer. He's got 10 and 12 and 1 assist. But Zev Ben Ami, he's been absolutely incredible. 9 points, 4 boards, most of them offensive. He's been flying in uncontainable. TABC talking it over with Coach Cross. They know they're going to have to come out firing in this press. They're going to need to generate turnovers. They'll need to generate them quickly, and they'll need to convert them. They have yet to hit a 3. That has been their bread and butter for the most part this season, and they just haven't found the range or the room today.
But on the other side, Yona, you do not want to see them all of a sudden come down, just start throwing up threes. Patience, get the good shots. It starts on the defensive end. Keep up the pressure and leave it all out there on the floor.
Beautiful press break there as Brody to Lifer from the stack, and they break it. Heidemann needs the pressure, and it's a backcourt violation, but it's stolen instead by Heidemann. Looking to take in Brody, but pulls it out. Now it's Gertzberg behind the back, fancy dribbling. Finds Smith off the front rim. They needed that one badly. Now it's Lifer. Lifer so fast. Once he picks up a head of steam, forces them into the ill-advised foul. Such a good free throw shooter, and he's going to the line for a one-on-one. What a tough break for the Storm there. Gavi Smith, his first open look of the day, and unable to put it in.
And on the other end, you know, you got to take those fouls. You got to give them. You got to send it, despite how good of a free throw shooter, you can't give up easy baskets, and you got to keep the pressure on. If you're Gavi Smith, last night you hit a big shot, elated. You got to keep shooting. This game still has time. Let's not give up just yet. Let's leave it all out there.
You know, Heidemann had a chance there as Coach Cross calls over his TABC team to discuss something, give them some instructions. You know, it's just they haven't had any breathing space because they haven't been able to puncture the interior of the DRS zone. So all of their passes are perimeter-based. Proctor, you know, he's been flashing high post, but he's only ever had these difficult turnaround jumpers.
And that was Eitan Gertzberg's 5th foul, so he'll have to sit out the rest of the game. That was what their little pause was about. You got to applaud the effort as just effortlessly. I wish I could shoot free throws that effortlessly.
It wouldn't look as good, and they wouldn't go in. You could shoot, you could miss effortlessly.
But as you know, I'm a pretty lights-out free throw shooter, not a lefty sensational shooter like you, Mr. Pollack. But that's just it's just simply the only word is not fair.
Well, maybe TABC can channel some of your free throw skill if they get back to the line. Gertzberg will try an unbelievable scoop. That's been the story of his game so far, but it just hasn't been there enough. Lead back down to 8, but the clock, their greatest enemy. 2:26 left as the gym continues to fill up here at the Max Stern Athletic Center. A lot of anticipation in the air for a great slate of action. 32-24, 2:26 to play. Is there any way TABC can really get back in this game?
I think you got to hope for things to go right on your end and wrong on the other end with turnovers and missed free throws. But I assume that what Coach Cross is saying is let's put the pressure on, let's press, and let's just keep the pressure up as much as possible.
That was TABC and Coach Cross's last time out. 2:26, they will not be receiving any instruction, at least not by a timeout called by Coach Cross. Ben Ami will inbound, guarded by Haberman. Finds Brody inside. Finds Lifer, and just like that, it's that easy. Deutsch has an odd man rush if he chooses to take it. He does not wisely, and he dribbles it out to Brody. Look how composed these Wildcat guards are. Heidemann reaches in. Brody goes right past him. Swinging it so quickly, the Storm cannot keep up. Brody gets some breathing space for himself. Towing the line. Can't touch it. And it's stolen there by Smith. Wonderful defense. Smith stops for a 3, and he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2. Coach Cross likes what he sees. For 3. Coach Cross likes what he sees. That's a huge opportunity now, potentially to cut the lead to 5.
This is, I think, what the game is going to come down to. I know there's 1:24 left, but the difference between 8, 7, 6, and 5 could not be greater.
Does he have some Daniel Gordon in him at the line? And the first one rattles home. 32-25, lead down to 7.
Gavi Smith always has ice in his veins. You know, we played together in a charity touch football tournament. He was one of the leaders of our team.
Second free throw rolls around and drops. 32-26. The underdogs daring to give some hope to their supporters.
The TABC faithful with their hands in the air, hoping for a big whoosh.
Third free throw. It's a hat trick for Gavi Smith. Finishes it off. Ackerman pushed backwards. Now it's Ben-Ami. Perhaps a little stress showing, a little cracks in the demeanors of these guards. Now it's Leifer. If there's someone you want to have the ball, it's him. Brody dribbled too much last possession, and he knows it. Ben-Ami almost stripped, and now it's Deutsch. Deutsch has been so good this game. Brody, great cross to give himself some room. Calls out the rotation. Now it's Leifer. TABC looking a little sluggish. Ackerman open down low. Leifer finds him. Haberman flies in, but it's Gertzberg who swats it away. TABC looking to close. 120. Get on your feet, fans. Here we go. Heidemann drives in. Out to Proctor. Finds Smith. Thought about it, but Ackerman closed well. Now it's Gertzberg coming in on a minute to play. Smith inside. Heidemann fading. Jumper. Good over Leifer. Timeout, TABC. That was not their last timeout. They call it, and it is a one-possession game. The fans on their feet. We've got a barn burner.
And that's a 30-second timeout. That's all they have. And like we said, their shot from Gavi Smith, the 3 free throws, gave them some hope. And now it's only a 3-point game with 1 minute left. If you are DRS, I think you got to slow down the game. You've broken the press pretty easily. And then it's about being patient and keeping the ball in the hands of the people you want shooting at the free throw line.
Wow, you know, we were doubting them. I admit it, we were doubting them. You said, what do they need to get back in this game? They need things to go right and things to go wrong for DRS. Well, you know, as simple as that sounds, it's happened. They've generated such great pressure on this press D. You didn't think it was possible, but DRS looking just the slightest bit rattled. And of course, what can you say about Ty Gertzberg? When the offense, even when it wasn't there, he comes in with the defense. What a huge block. The biggest play of the game for TABC. And Heidemann has been spectacular. We have the trap comes out, and we have a timeout called. TABC begging for a travel. Leifer looking confused. Ben-Ami trying to give instruction. This TABC Storm press has them all sorts of befuddled.
I think the question you have to ask here, if you're TABC, if you're Coach Cross, you just got an extra timeout to instruct your guys, how long are you staying in the press? How long are you going before you foul? What are you doing? That's enabling the game to go? We have some great shout-outs here. First and foremost, from our great friend Moshe Cook, a harsh critic who I think wrote, "You guys are amazing, every year getting better." And from Daniel Francis.
Well, Cook is an old man of the variety of get off my lawn, the type of which we've seen so much in sports recently.
Interesting question from Daniel Francis, a guy out there, I think it says he's from 845. Do we know where that is? An 845 number?
Shout out to Muncie.
Shout out to Muncie. Shout out to Muncie. Daniel Francis wants to know, do you think, I think it's an opinion question, poll to the listeners, do you think we'll see a life or dunk mid-game during this year's tournament? And what I have to say is they better focusing on making some free throws and not turning the ball over.
I will say if Leifer makes a dunk in these waning moments of this excellent game, the roof might come off the gym. He's in trouble, but he uses his size to find Ben-Ami cross-court. Gertzberg tries to do it, and it's a turnover. Ben-Ami trying to find Ackerman, who's bewildered. He says to his teammate, "I wasn't there." And TABC, unbelievably, has the ball with a chance to tie. The crowd rooting for the underdogs. No timeouts for the Storm. Gertzberg, Smith, one basket can tie it. Proctor begging for it. Doesn't take it. Brody gave him that inch of space. Gertzberg drives in left. Pulls up, tipped out. Ackerman clapping, getting himself into it. 36 seconds on the game clock. Tense moments in this first Tier 1 quarterfinal.
And if you're TABC, I think you got to get the ball in Gertzberg's hand, let him drive to the basket, and hopefully get an open shot.
Gavi Smith was open for a second. They didn't see him. Now it's Heidemann. Gertzberg finds himself in a double team. Dribbles past everyone. No look inside. Proctor cannot finish. Gertzberg inside finishes it. And Gertzberg completes it, and he'll have a shot to tie the game. 24 seconds. Are you kidding me? The underdog, TABC Storm, have come storming back. 32-31. Shock on the faces of the Wildcat bench. 24 seconds left to play.
And if you're TABC, this is literally all you can ask for, as DRS will call a timeout.
We already were treated to a highlight game between MTA and Ida Crown. But folks, as good as they are, this is tier 1. This is the big show. We're seeing an undefeated 28-0 team facing an underdog that they've already beaten 3 times this season. But Ty Gertzberg, Aaron Heidemann, and the whole bunch, even Proctor, so active, helping to tip it to Gertzberg there. Even though he struggled, they are not lying down. They are saying, we will not go quietly into the night. We will continue to fight. And now they actually have a chance to tie, something that we couldn't even believe as little as a minute and a half ago.
You know, Yoni, sports is all about what have you done for me lately. And in this quarter, TABC is outscoring DRS 16-8. 16-8.
They
doubling
have found
them up.
their offense, and it is as a result of this wonderful press, and you absolutely can't fault them. Even if he hits this shot, open up in a press. That's live or die right there. But would you rather do that or give Lifer a chance to go one-on-one against a set D?
I think if you're TABC and you make this shot, you fall back into your zone and you let DRS come to you.
All the hopes and dreams TABC lying on this free throw, and it's off the backboard. No good. He goes flying in. Lifer connects on it. Ball goes out of bounds, and it is a turnover. Gabe Lifer cannot believe it. His hands are on his head. I love the ref letting him play. Forget about tying it. Forget about the foul shot. 19 and a half seconds to go. They want the lead. The gym is packed. The stands are hopping. Gertzberg with the ball.
Gertzberg
no timeouts.
waiting for instruction from the coach. Again, no timeouts left.
Dribbling through everyone, almost has it stripped. Trapped, and he turns it over. Deutsch grabs the ball, and the foul is called. Gertzberg so dejected. Heidemann lets out a scream. 8 seconds to go. They will be going to the line for just a 1-and-1.
Just a 1-and-1 here, no matter what happens, unless they get an offensive rebound. This is a chance for TABC. Set themselves, come on down. Coach Cross using this opportunity to coach the team and say, this is where I want you guys. Let's get a rebound. Let's focus on that. And let's come down and get a good shot. You never know.
DRS has not faced many games like this year. 28-0. They have put no one on the line. Perhaps an ill-advised move, as they've been so dominant, you wonder. One tip out could end this game. Deutsch, cold-blooded. Free throw good. 2-point lead. And as tough as it is for Gertzberg, you know, he drove in and he turned it over. He's been so good all game, you could barely fault him. Deutsch's second free throw rolls around and goes in. No timeouts for the Storm. Heidemann's got it. He's double teamed. He doesn't realize they're down 3. He throws it in off the board. Lifer throws it down the court, and that's how it ends. You never want to see it go like that. Heidemann being besieged by his teammates, but time cannot be turned back. DRS remains undefeated, and the game has ended. 34 for the number 1 seeded Wildcats, 31 for TABC. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with player interviews and post-game show.
There are over 15,000 ways to take your coffee at Dunkin'. Every cup as unique as you. Always fresh with that signature smooth taste. We take pride in every cup, but only one is your coffee. Your Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
I came to YU to pursue a further Jewish education. Participating in a collegiate athletic team has been challenging. Yeshiva University provides an incredible opportunity to find a balance between academics, athletics, extracurriculars. Fellow students show their pride for their teams in coming to games like Max Madness, our senior night, wearing their blue and white colors. The Yeshiva University Athletics Department breaks the stereotype of what it means to be a Jewish athlete. So while I came here for a Jewish education, I'm walking away with much more.
Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center here at Yeshiva University. We're here with 3 of the victorious and still undefeated DRS Wildcats, Gabe Lifer, Zev Ben-Ami, and Yoav Deutsch. Now guys, let's start with you, Gabe. Have you guys faced a competition such a close game as this one all year?
Never before. Our closest game was Flatbush, our first game of the season in Flatbush. We were down 10, but then we were up more than 3 for the rest of the game, really. But this is by far our hardest competition so far.
It was certainly a barn burner. It was such a close game. Well played on both sides. Zev, you were flying in for the rebounds all game. You know, we were saying, Gabe, you ended up having a double-double.
Thank you.
But you got almost as many offensive boards as him. Was there something that Coach Stein said to you before the game, or is that how you normally play?
I mean, usually I try to bring as much energy as I can to the team. Coach said I have to make sure the guys are energized, so by jumping up, flying, going wherever I can to get the ball, I was just trying to get the guys motivated.
And you, Yoav, at the end of the game, you're standing at the line after a ferocious run by TABC, and you calmly sink 2 free throws. What was going through your mind at the end of the game there?
We were up, so I never really had any pressure on me because we were up by 1, so I just said, I'm just going to shoot these free throws. I know I can hit them, and I hit them.
He definitely did. They certainly won the game. Now, guys, I got to ask, you're undefeated. You're 28-0. You got the looming Yeshiva League Championship.
30-0.
30-0. Sorry, everyone. Missed those 2. You got the looming Yeshiva League Championship. How much does Sarachek mean to you compared to the Yeshiva League title?
I mean, Sarachek means a lot because it's obviously the best teams from around the country. You have to be selected to be in the tournament. But we got to take it one game at a time because we're trying to go for perfection. But Yeshiva League Championships we're looking forward to that a lot. It's our main priority.
All right, what about the tournament itself? You guys having a good time? Enjoying yourselves?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. We like it a lot.
Well, hopefully you'll have a better, quiet Shabbos now that you guys won. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys Sunday afternoon in the Tier 1 semifinal.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the victorious Wildcats, the stars of the game. What an awesome, awesome match here. Thanks, Gabe. Great game. Wow, what can you say? It had everything you wanted. TABC, they came out strong. They were firing, but in the end, just fell 1 shot short.
You know, Yoni, before the game, you and I were saying all we can hope for is a good battle, and that's really what we have here. We have to be proud of the TABC Storm that they came out here, literally gave it all that they had. Nobody in this gym thought they were going to come back from down 8 with just over a minute left, and they came back. But if you're DRS, I think this is an important win for you for this tournament, and looking forward 9 days from now to the Yeshiva League Championship. They haven't had a run since the very first game, as they told us, of their season. So having runs, having close games will only bode well for them going forward, and we wish both teams the best of luck as this tournament continues.
Of course, if you're TABC, the heavy underdog, you can leave with your head held high. And if you're DRS, undefeated, you're moving on. And we'll see them again on Sunday. For Yoni Pollock and Daniel Gordon and the entire awesome MacsLive crew in production, camera, reporting, writing, everyone, and to all our sponsors, thank you so much, and keep watching. We've got more action coming up after this.